Hey everyone, Joe Weissman here. And you're tuned into the Ill Noise Business Playbook. Big ideas, bold stories, and local impact. Let's make some noise. Real Finance Group is more than just accounting. Leticia and her team provide real accounting solutions for real life, helping small businesses like ours thrive in the Chicagoland community. All right, welcome to the Ill Noise Business Playbook. I'm here with Joe with Fairway Mortgage. Joe, how you doing today, man?
Great. How you doing?
I am doing good. We were talking before the show started. We are both a fan of that team right there that Walter Payton used to play on. And I would be in a better mood right now, Joe. But yesterday, that's bear down Chicago. I mean, right now they're barely bearing down. But any thoughts on the season? Do we have any hope here?
Yeah, this is what's really good about this, because we're recording this, and so people will find this out later after they win the Super Bowl this year, that they started out 0-2, and we were all upset, and now the Bears came back and beat everybody.
Oh, Joe, man. Boy, do I ever hope and pray that you're right. I think I've
Put your bets in now and thank me later.
Yes, boy, 40 years, that'd be pretty cool if we could make it happen like we did 40 years ago, huh? Awesome. Well, listen, man, I've had the opportunity to, spend a little time with you out in the field, which has been really cool. I know that have been in some places. You and I have met not too long ago. In fact, it was very nice that we each bought each other a glass of water that we were able to enjoy and stuff like that. But
absolutely.
Why don't you, if you will, talk to us about what you do, talk to us about your business and what inspired you to get into the mortgage business.
Absolutely. So again, my name is Joe Dziewulski. I'm with Fairway Home Mortgage. I've been in the business since 2002. Back in the time, I was playing like some competitive baseball, and I was on a plane to Puerto Rico. I was working for American Airlines, and 9/11 had just happened. And I took a big pay cut at the airline, and I was trying to figure out how can I supplement my income. Flying to Puerto Rico, I sat next to a guy, and he owned a mortgage company in Crystal Lake. So long story short, I came back, I went and met with him. I started doing mortgages to supplement my income because of the pay cut, and now this is what I do full time. 20 years later, still doing it, love it. I love the satisfaction of helping people, the satisfaction of figuring out problems and getting rewarded for it. And it's just been a great decision I made 20 years ago.
Joe, what position? I played baseball my whole life. I don't know why I'm finding this out now. What position did you play?
I was corner infield, third or first. So when the arm started going bad, I moved to first, and I was the manager, so I could do that.
Nice. Now, Joe, as a small business, obviously, it's not easy. I mean, boy, oh boy, you've been doing this now. You're saying since 9/11, you've been doing this for almost 25 years. But what sort of obstacles have you dealt with? Being a small business owner, and how have you been able to overcome those obstacles?
Well, in the beginning, of course, it's very hard for any business that we're reliant on referrals. We're reliant on our experience. And in the beginning, you don't have that much. So you might lose deals not knowing that you maybe could have done them. So it's just time that takes, to grow the business, to learn products. It's an ever-changing business. I mean, my biggest obstacle is the internet, because there's a lot of false information, believe it or not, on the internet. And I always get hey, I saw on the internet that, the rates are back down to 4%. And I'm like, yeah, it also said that whatever happened in the world or in America or in your hometown, and it's not always true. So I battle that, because a lot of those things that you see on the internet or radio advertising, they usually charge points or fees. They do what's called let's get the phone call, and then we'll deal with the real facts later. And there might be, 3% in fees, and it's going to cost you $9,000 to get that 5% rate that they said would be 4%, and rates are really at 6 or 6.5. So my biggest obstacle is just knowledge and the trust factor of saying, hey, I promise you I'm doing the best that's out there. We all have the same rates when it gets down to it. We're all pretty similar.
That's why people want to go to you, because they believe in you, right? I mean,
right.
It's all about relationship building. And let's kind of jump along with that as well. The best way to have a business is to acquire a customer base, grow your customer base. So what sort of strategies have you put in place to do so? I know we've already sort of mentioned some networking events and some ways that you get out there. What other ways do you kind of try to expand that customer base, Joe?
So I don't pay for leads. I think that's a waste of time and money. It's really hard to get a random person to just use you. It's really, especially, this is the biggest financial decision most people make in their life, buying a house or refinancing a house, even rolling in credit card debt. I mean, They're putting a lot of trust and faith into the process. So again, so what I rely on now, that especially that I have a good database, is my database, referrals, things like that, getting out in the community, going to ribbon cutting events. I'm a member of the Women's Council of Realtors. I'm on their board this year. And so that's just getting me in front of people that trust me, that, we do events together, community events, just training events, and it's building that trust with people in the industry that gets you referrals, and again, with your own database.
Running. Can you tell the audience something really stuck strong with me when you are actually going to apply for your mortgage? You were kind of saying that there's some things you shouldn't do. Can you share with the audience some of those things you should not do?
Let me think. Oh, I'm sorry. I understand what you're asking now.
Yes.
So for not on the application itself, but if
Yes.
you're looking to buy a house or refinance, most people go buy a car first.
Yes.
Hey, I'm going to buy a house, so I should really go get my car. No, when you qualify for a mortgage, it's based on your monthly debt, and your car payment is typically your second largest debt besides rent or a mortgage. But I have a lot of people, especially younger, they have the mentality, go buy the house so you can get what you want, and then buy the car to fit your budget after the house, because a $500 car payment is actually kind of cheap now. Most of them are, I see, $700, $800. I mean, you can be losing $100,000 of buying power on a house because that $800 payment is eating up your monthly income and you don't qualify. So that's one key. Another thing is when you do go buy a car, they run your credit multiple times to try to get you to the best rate on the car. And every time you have your credit run as a hard pull, it dings your score. And with a mortgage, one thing is nice is if you run it within 15 days with multiple places, they don't ding your score every time. So you do have that ability to shop with a mortgage, but with a car, they're shopping for you. And I've seen people, what do you mean I'm down 80 points? Well, you had your car run and they ran your credit 8 times. You got a good rate, but that's where it's at. So that, and then again, big purchases on credit cards hurts your credit scores and lowers your buying ability.
Yeah. Sorry to throw you for a mini loop there.
Yeah.
That was something that stuck with me. I thought, boy, that's brilliant. No one had ever told me that before. That was such a huge takeaway I had. I was telling Neha, if we ever decide to refi, we can't do anything else. Joe said not to. So I love that advice that you gave us. You've been doing this now for, quite a while, and you've certainly seen some alterations in the process and some differences along the way. So, what sort of trends have you seen, but even more importantly, what sort of future trends do you think that are out there that you can anticipate, and how are you going to plan on sort of dealing with those?
Yeah, there's a lot of regulations that came into the business. When I started, you didn't even have to be licensed as a loan officer, which is kind of crazy because I was looking at people's credit scores, credit reports, bank statements. I had a lot of information at the tip of my fingertips. And I'm one of the good ones that, used it to get a mortgage. But there was shady loan officers out there, and a lot of them left the business once we had to get licensed, which is, I think, the best thing that happened in our career. In the future, the buying power right now is really tough. It's hard to find a house under $300,000. And for some people, that's going to be their starter home. So we just got to keep active on rates. I mean, the more you put down, the better you are. Sometimes it's more advantageous to buy down the rate as to put more money down. It might save you more on your monthly payment. So there's a lot of strategies we can use moving forward. One of the big misconceptions, Joe, something's coming up that's going to be announced, is the Fed's lowering interest rates. The Fed's lowering rates do not impact directly mortgage rates. So if the Feds lower the rates a quarter, rates don't go down a quarter. Mortgage rates are based on mortgage-backed securities. So you can Google it. Usually when the Feds lower rates, that's for short-term loans like credit cards, car payments, car loans. But mortgage-backed securities are a traded commodity. So sometimes, because people are all excited about the rates being lowered, they're like, I have more money, and they put it in the stock market, which lowers the bond market, which actually raises mortgage rates. So I'm telling people now, refinance before the Feds cut the rate, because it's a good chance the mortgage rates will go up. Don't have a crystal ball, but that's usually the trend.
That is great advice. Was actually going to ask you about that, and you answered that. Okay, so that does not affect it. Joe, one thing that I've enjoyed so much, and spending a little time with you out there, is you're a man of positivity. You always got a smile on your face. You're always laughing. You're always having a good time with folks. And I know that, obviously that happens in your personal life, but I'm sure professionally, there's some nice positive stories along the way that have really kind of helped keep that flame going for 25 years now, right? So
Right.
tell us tell us some fun stories that you got of some folks that you've been able to help along the way.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of crazy ones. I went to somebody's house one time when I first started, and I said, hey, I need your bank statements and pay stubs. And they had a big box, And they go, here you go. And it was like months and months, still unopened bank statements. And I'm sitting there for an hour trying to find the most recent two to go through. There's always satisfaction with working with first-time buyers. That's the joy of seeing somebody buy their first house is just, they're so excited and scared. And, I tell them, let me do the worrying. You just show up to closing. I'll take care of everything in between. Just give me what I need. So I did have a unique first-time home buyer. He called me. His name was Stuart, and he lived in Rockford area, and he was 71 years old, and he never owned a home. He was a veteran, so he didn't have a lot of money to put down, and with the VA loan, you don't need any money down. We were able to get him some benefits for various reasons, and we were able to buy him his first home. And unfortunately, I found out he passed away in the last 6 months. But you know what? I'm happy that he got to live it out, being a homeowner.
Yeah.
So that was a great, I remember the closing well, and he was not electronic savvy, believe it or not. I mean, he was, in his early 70s. So I would have to drive out there all the time into Rockford and have him sign documents. And then his girlfriend that lived with him, her name was Jackie. She was an ex-realtor. So she wanted to talk shop when I got there and have a coffee. And then Stuart would sign and he'd be slower. He'd want to talk about things. So I had to dedicate, if I go there, it's a 2-hour visit just to get 5 pieces of paper signed. But you do what you got to do. And it was a great experience. That's one of my more fun ones.
That's an awesome story. You were able to kind of help somebody achieve a goal that they weren't able to achieve for over 70 plus years, and you were able to be a part of that. That's some beautiful stuff. Joe, if people are, well, actually, before I actually do the last one, I'm just curious, as far as AI, has that had any sort of impact in your business and stuff like that? Or do you utilize that? Or is that where a lot of misinformation maybe comes with that you're talking about? Or
Yeah, I dabble in it. I'm starting to get more comfortable with it. It's funny you say that. I just took a class on it, like a 2-hour training online. And basically what they said is, when you do AI for any advertising, and I'm not going to lie, I actually did some AI on Fairway Home Mortgage just to get some info maybe that I didn't know already. AI, what they say is they're just pulling information off the internet, is from what I understand, but from so many multiple sources at the same time that we could never do it. And so some of that information, again, it's on the internet. It might not be what's real. So they say, edit your work, proofread what, don't just AI it and post it, read it, because they might say, hey, feds are lowering rates next week and so are mortgage rates.
right?
No, that's not true. Man. Maybe somebody said that. And there could be mortgage people that say that too, because they're like, hey, I want to create a buzz. So when they lower the rates, I'll get a bunch of phone calls. Well, again, a little misleading, but run your business how you want to run it, I suppose.
Sure. Joe, what's the best way that people can reach out to you if they want to learn more about, you helping them out, someone dedicated mortgage guy that's going to help them. And obviously no one can forget your tagline, Joe's my mortgage guy. So Joe, my mortgage guy, how do people reach out to you?
Yeah. So several ways. I mean, you can vote for me and vote for Joe's my mortgage guy. I'm never running for anything, but I always put those out at election time, and people laugh, and I do contests. If you send a picture and put it on Facebook, I'll send you a gift card. Show me where the signs are at. So that's one way you can vote for me, and I'll win nothing. I have my website, joesmymortgageguy.com. You can Google Joe Dziewulski, my last name, and Fairway Mortgage, and you'll go right to my Fairway branded website. Joe's My Mortgage Guy is also branded with Fairway. It's just I have two. One's a corporate one and one's a separate one. And then you can always reach me by texting or calling 224-558-2020. And it's funny, I got a text from a realtor yesterday during the Bears game, and I had to text her back. Bears game, off limits unless it's an emergency. Do you need an updated approval? And she just wanted to chit chat. So it was all good. I'm like, Bears game's probably the only time, but other than that, I try to make myself available. I know people work till 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. So sometimes I got to be available in the evening, and that's fine.
Well, Joe, thank you so much. Okay, I've told you this before we started. You got my favorite name of anybody I've interviewed on the show so far. But really
Awesome.
appreciate it.
I like your name too, Joe.
I know you do. Nice talking to you, brother. You have a good day, okay?
Take care.